What's going on, Rom?
I'm enjoying myself. Good to be here at San Diego. My second time ever at a convention. So,
Nice.
yeah. It's great.
All right, so I got to ask, I love a good Marvel origin story. Talk to us a little bit about what you're doing and how you got started with Marvel and, being a creator.
Yeah, I mean, in comics in general, I read comics as a kid, but I didn't have access to a lot of Marvel stuff in India. And I moved to the States when I was 20. A friend of mine just dropped like graphic novels into my lap, and it really pulled me back in.
Yeah.
With the Marvel stuff, I got in off of actually reading a lot of Gaiman's work. So, Marvel 1602 and the Eternals. I had met Donnie when he was still on his run on Venom. And just in passing conversation, he was like, hey, when I'm finished, man, I'm going to recommend you to one of the editors. And, lo and behold, Devin got in touch just as Donnie was finishing his run, and the rest is history.
I love it. And so, for those who don't know, Donnie Cates is, man, you're talking about somebody who loves...
Are there people who don't know Donnie Cates?
I mean, look, Donnie, don't get me in trouble with Donnie. But I will say, now you've got your hands on Venom and Carnage. What can readers expect from this new chapter?
Yeah, I mean, so Venom I'm co-writing with Al Ewing. You can see that it's turned into this time travel, sci-fi, symbiote story that is clearly getting way more convoluted as it goes.
As it should.
Yeah. But it's got an end game in plan. And it's this kind of big, bombastic end game that involves the other book I'm writing, which is Carnage. And so eventually the two kind of come together and collide, if you will.
All right, so keeping those secrets, I'm totally here for it. You made it clear you're writing two very strong, very unique symbiotes. What's it like writing for these two unique characters?
Yeah, I was talking about this earlier. The Venom that I'm writing is Dylan, Eddie Brock's son. It's kind of like trying to write an angsty teenager trying to fit into his father's shoes. So that's an interesting take on the character. And I like to write my stories and keep them grounded through human emotion. Yeah. So that's always an emotionally driven stake. On the Carnage side, he doesn't really have a host anymore. And it's a symbiote trying to push itself to see where its limits really lie. So it's almost therapeutic in that I get to cut loose with Carnage and go, I'm going to just, cross all kinds of boundaries and go crazy with this. Whereas with Venom, I'm trying to keep it more human, more grounded, if you will.
Love it. So where do you even start, right? Like, there's so many possibilities with these two characters. There's so many places you can go, dealing with the groundedness of human emotion, but also this idea that you are creating new canon every single time, you strike a page in a script. Where do you start with your creative process? And for you, what story did you really want to tell?
I mean, the first question I always ask myself is, why should people care? And so I feel like that's a good searchlight to use to find your way in the dark. So when you're writing story, whenever I come up against a choice, I'm always like, okay, why should people care? And so my Venom run certainly wears that on its sleeve. With Carnage, it might be a little harder to see considering it's an alien symbiote. But even there is baggage. This is a symbiote that was tied to Cletus Cassidy for so many years. And there is baggage in that relationship. And so it's nice to explore that. So yeah, I guess short answer is I always start with characters and human conflict and drama.
Yeah, I love it. So we're here at Comic-Con. You mentioned that this is your second time at San Diego Comic-Con. For you, what are you most excited about seeing? What are you most excited about doing? Or is there you're like, oh man, this is it. I got to do this before I leave the Comic-Con floor?
I mean, to be very honest, I spend most of my days locked in a room writing at a computer. It's just nice to be out amongst people who enjoy your work. And so to me, it's like all about the fans and seeing people enjoy the work, seeing people kind of express their love for these characters is great. And that's why I come out to conventions. I don't really do the whole, like, I'm sat at a table for hours thing. And so, yeah, just interacting with people is great. And I'm glad things are back on track.
I love it. So I know you got a lot more to do, a
Yeah.
lot more to see. You got to take in all of these incredible people here at San Diego Comic-Con. I want to thank you so much for stopping by, and I can't wait
pleasure.
for folks to continue reading this amazing stories that you're working on.
Yes.